Bank of Industry is committed to its drive to deepen penetration and credit delivery to the underserved. In fulfillment of this commitment, the bank continues to develop special funds and credit products targeted at specific small and medium enterprise SME clusters and customer segments. Among the products are the 5 billion naira cottage agro-processing fund and the 1 billion naira Nolly fund that were recently launched by the bank. The latest addition is a 1 billion naira fashion fund to boost the creative arts industry in Nigeria. After a brief intro on the fashion fund by the group head of gender business of the bank, Ms. Rekia Zubairu, the divisional head large enterprises, Mr. Joseph Babatunde, made a short presentation on how the fashion fund is to be executed.
Out of the total project of the cost of the project, the Bank of Industry will finance about 75%, and then there will be equity contribution. That's a contribution from the business owner to the tune of about 25%. And because we want it to be able to, we want a good number of people to be able to access the scheme, we are looking at a single obligor limit of not more than about 30 million, at least to start with. In terms of the moratorium, we are looking at 6 to 12 months. That's in terms of the principal. But of course, it will depend on where you are sourcing the equipment. If the equipment is going to be procured locally, we know that will not take maybe a matter of 1 month or thereabout. And then you start almost immediately. But if you are going to import the equipment, for example, the moratorium could be up to 12 months, thereabout. And in terms of the tenure, we expect that the beneficiary should be able to repay the loan within a period of about 3 years. In terms of the pricing, just the standard, pricing, a processing fee of 1% of the loan, and of course a commitment fee of 1%. The monitoring fee, every quarter, the officers will always visit, and then we try to make the rate a single-digit interest rate of no more than 9%.
Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Bank of Industry, Mr. Rashid Olaoluwa, highlighted the developmental impact the bank is making through the various funds in support of SME clusters across the country.
In September 2014, we launched the Cottage Agro-Processing CAP Fund. This is a 5 billion naira fund to support the establishment of small-scale agro-processing plants within and outside the staple crop processing zones across Nigeria. In April 2015, we introduced Nolly Fund, a 1 billion naira fund to support Nigeria's movie producers in Nollywood. I'm pleased to state that these funds are operational and have received encouraging levels of interest from various stakeholders. At the Bank of Industry, we have resolved to strategically approach the issue of SME financing using the cluster approach, which has been successfully implemented in many fast-growing economies in the world. The fashion cluster is the next one we're targeting, with the fashion fund being launched here today. Essentially, our cluster approach recognizes that one size does not fit all. Consequently, we are able to tailor our lending criteria to the peculiarities of each cluster based on a deep analysis and understanding of the dynamics of each SME cluster. We are particularly excited about this fashion fund because of the potential impact it promises to have on the Nigerian fashion industry and indeed the entire economy.
Mr. Olaoluwa said the fashion fund is aimed at transforming the Nigerian fashion industry to compete favorably in the global market.
At the Bank of Industry, we see an opportunity to support Nigeria's leading fashion businesses to increase their production volumes and quality, thereby making them more competitive both in the domestic and international markets. The growth in Nigeria's urban population which is now over 170 million, the positive macroeconomic environment, increasing purchasing power of the emerging middle class, and a strong appetite for consumer goods are all positive factors in favor of a flourishing fashion cluster. Fashion provides an important opportunity to diversify Nigeria's economy and create jobs, particularly among the youth. We are therefore confident that the launch of this fund will help to catalyze the fashion cluster, will help in creating millions of jobs, and also in generating foreign exchange earnings for the businesses and also for our country, Nigeria. At BOI, we are determined to support Nigeria's real sector. We are committed to making a real difference in the financing and support of our SMEs. We believe that by so doing, we will be firmly and surely on the path to realizing our vision of becoming the leading development finance institution in Africa.
Just like it is written in one of the holy books that seek and ye shall be answered, the managing director of the Bank of Industry yielded to the plea of the association.
What does it take to set up a production hub?
Well, we know. So if you can arrange a meeting, we'll sit down with you, we'll tell you what we need. Yes. Everything we need, we have built the experience. So yes.
Consider it done.
Yes.
There were also comments from the founder of the association, Mrs. Shade Thomas, fashion entrepreneur Nuke Ogunesi of Rough and Tumble, as well as other relevant stakeholders.
I don't think there's anything for me to add, because what Fumi has said hit my heart the minute she started straight away. So this is an opportunity to create jobs. This is an opportunity to create wealth. It's an amazing opportunity, and the time is right, as Fumi says. We also need to work on the quality of the technical skills that we are going to build and need in the industry. That is one of the most important key factors. I was actually talking to her about it this morning when I met her. We need to have technical schools that train people on pattern grading, pattern cutting, that know what they are doing. If you say that a dress is size 14, it must be size 14. Anywhere in the world, it is size 14. We need to adopt those global standards and build this industry that has so much potential. But I would like to thank you for bringing us here. I would like to congratulate you as well, because this has been long overdue. And you're getting designers that it's not about the hair or the shoes. It's about, I have a skill, I have capacity locked in me, and I need to release it into the world. We need to give people the avenue to release that capacity into the world and create wealth in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Today is a very important day for me to be here sitting down and listening, and also the fact that the group of the Bank of Industry have decided that they would want to help, and recognizing the fact that fashion industry, it's a very important industry. And it's so strange that it has taken Nigeria such a long time to realize this, that economically it's a worthwhile industry that should be financed. Well, I must say a lot has happened, and I appreciate the present president of FADAN, Fumi Ajila Adipo, for the efforts that she's putting in, even to get the Bank of Industry to listen to her enough to be able to gather people here today to that said you've decided to help in a way to finance the growth of this industry.
The management was also engaged by cross-section of the media.
I wanted to find out from the bank if you've put up enough structures to protect your fund, to protect this investment, to ensure that this fund does not go the way of so many funds in this direction, does not go bad. You don't have people coming back to complain.
Yes, the answer is yes. And our chief risk officer is here. And every single loan that we process under this fund must get his concurrence. And if he says no, even if the MD says yes, that loan will not be approved. I hope you, so it's important that I say put this out. So he's somebody who can tell me no. And I'm saying this publicly so that you know you are highly empowered. You know, because it's in the interest of this institution that we have somebody who can also put someone like me in check. Otherwise, you know, it's a power without control. It's dangerous.
The Executive Director, Large Enterprises, Alhaji Mohammed Al-Ali, gave the closing remarks.
You know, there's a word in the bank industry we are very passionate about: impact. When we talk about it in our ESCO meeting, in our group meeting, we always need to find out what impact is being made, who is making it, how it's made, for what, and how, and so on and so forth. This is why we came about the funds, the MD inaugurated, the CAP fund, the Lolly fund, and now the passion fund. For the bank to decide to have a passion fund, that means you passion designers are making impact somewhere. So thank you for that, for being there in that space, making that impact, and with the fund, we are hopeful we are going to make more impact. With that, I want to thank all our stakeholders. First, the father, which I'm sure Eric has been working with them for a long time. British Council, Yaba Tech, our bankers colleague, the 10 SME friendly banks. Thank you for supporting this fund, and we hope to work more with you in the future. Thank you, and I wish everybody safely back to their better destination.
Welcome back. I can hear you say what a great initiative and excitement in Nigeria's fashion industry, especially from members of the Fashion Designers Association of Nigeria, FADN. The Impact crew later had a one-on-one interview with the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Bank of Industry, Mr. Rashid Olaoluwa, and the FADN President. At the end of the ceremony, the Managing Director of the Bank of Industry and the President of FADN fielded questions from BOI Impact crew.
The BOI Fashion Fund came up as a result of our quest to really make a significant developmental impact on Nigerian society. The whole idea is very simple. We believe that this is the only way to really ensure that the SMEs get the right kind of support, get the right kind of loans that are structured to fit the dynamics of their business. And you know, we'll continue to do this. We're going to take clusters like the furniture. We're going to look at clusters like aquaculture. We're going to look at a lot of like I said, we have about 34 clusters already identified nationwide, and we're going to cover each one of them. By the way, this is a methodology that has been successfully utilized in other countries, especially in India, where they have hundreds of clusters that have been developed and have helped to really create millions of jobs and also add value to the economy. It's also an approach that is suitable for our own risk management, because what that means is that we are not just, doing an SME product for everybody. So we look at, if you are a fashion business, we look at the peculiarities of fashion industry, and we design our risk management criteria to suit that particular sector. So this is what we went through, and that's why you are seeing the third cluster being addressed today. Agro-processing was the first, second was Nollywood, and now we've taken fashion. And I'm just putting you on notice that this will be a series. So you can say this is number 3 in the series. So we are going to have number 20, we are going to have number 30, and so on and so forth, until we've really covered all the relevant, critical SME sectors in Nigeria. We are at the BOI. We see ourselves as being on a mission. The mission is we want to develop this country. We want to make an impact. We want to create value. Any SME that's operating in the risk sector, BOI is here to support them.
For further now, it's very welcome. We're going to try and encourage, the people, the designers, to try and maybe take some working capitals, because everybody has been able to buy their own machines. People run their own factories already. So what they're looking for is working capital. But you see, much more. It's not so much about giving me 3 million, giving me 4 million. Because at the end of the day, if you have challenges, that money is going to end up on the table. It's going to end up on those challenges. If you have school fees to pay, if you have things to do and things are, pulling you left, right, and center, you first of all settle that before you come. But the most important thing is to put together a production hub. When you put together a production hub, people make more money, because all I do is to have one machine. I don't need to start chasing tailors all over the place. Make a sample of what I'm wearing, take it to the production hub. Of course, it's tagged my name. Nobody can copy it, and then they can make more. I can go back to my drawing box and then start doing other designs before this production gets ready. And then already there's a retailer's hub waiting to sell those products. So and then your business will outlive you. So for the Bank of Industry to have come up with this, I think it's welcome, a very, very welcome.